actions speak louder than words. We're going to talk about what report just came out about Mike Johnson. Is he really on the side of Americans, conservatism, populism, and even Trump? Something that's pretty amazing. Now, he's saying, hey, it's not me, I didn't do this. But Breitbart says there's a source in his office that said this is exactly what he did. We're going to talk about that. And that might be why Trump is now second-guessing speakership. Who can he support? And I think he should change support to someone else, especially after some of the things he's done, especially this bill that they just passed, and now this new bombshell report. We need to talk about that. Also, we're going to talk about a alleged report that has been leaked of how much money some of these kickbacks were from the Ukrainian conflict. It will blow your mind. Now again, it has not been verified by any of these politicians, but I guess they're not going to talk much about it, especially if they are collecting this many millions. We're going to discuss that because remember, that's our tax dollars. So basically, we're taxed to help someone else, not Americans, and then for it to come back to our politicians. That's why they really don't need the raise, because they're getting all our money other ways. Also, we're going to talk about RFK and what he just said about TV ads. Why is this a big deal? Why is he saying Pharma cannot have commercials anymore? It'll change TV forever if this actually happens. And it will change for the good, but it will blow your mind of why. And lastly, are we seeing the turnaround? Hope we are. The three big automakers make a major push for Trump to help him out. Are we actually seeing what American exceptionalism truly looks like and what it means to have a strong leader? Even John Fetterman, the Pennsylvania Democrat who has had brain problems, has made more sense than some of the rhinos and the Democrats alike him. You won't believe what he just said. Let's dive into these stories and a special Christmas message just for you. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here on this Christmas day. It is rainy outside here at the Max. We just got done opening and eating and enjoying time together as family. And I just wanted to do this video, first of all, just to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of my life, just like I'm a part of your life. Merry Christmas to you and your family. This is something that we need to learn to realize, that Christmas is not about the gift. We know that. It's about God, and God sent His Son for us. What we don't think about the most, though, on Christmas is that the baby in the manger was actually the one that hung on the cross for us. He was literally born to die. There's a song by Shane and Shane that says Jesus was born to die. And when you think about that, it blows your mind. You don't think about this cute babe in swaddling clothes. You think of, He knew then that He was there for us, to make a way for us to have Him. It's amazing. So that's the most important thing that you can get out of today's video, for sure, is that Christmas is about your family, but more than that, more than the gifts, more than the family time, the traditions, which are all great, it's about Jesus. So thank you for being a part of this, and I hope that you'll get something out of this video. We wish that things stop, but they don't, so that's why we're going to talk a little news today. But please, spend time with your family, and then catch this after your family. Now, let's jump into these stories. First, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, there's a new report that came out that said, instead of the truth coming out fully on some of the J6 reports, instead of knowing a little bit more about the testimonies and the honesty behind what they were hiding, we thought it was just the committee actually hiding some of the information, the J6 committee, the Benny Thompsons, the Liz Cheneys, the Kissingers. Truth be told, though, listen to this. Bombshell. Speaker Johnson shielded dishonest J6 committee star witness from GOP subpoena. So the GOP was trying to pull the information to show that Cassie Hutchinson was being dishonest and was lying to the J6 committee and was trying to really make Trump look guilty. Well, the case was that's not what happened. But instead of the GOP actually being able to get information from her, subpoena her, and bring her in front of Congress to almost embarrass her because of the lies that she was telling, it wasn't the J6 committee. It wasn't Liz Cheney. It wasn't Kissinger. It wasn't Benny Thompson. It wasn't someone on the J6 committee that blocked her not being able to go up there. It wasn't even her own lawyers. Word is, Breitbart report shows that a source in Mike Johnson's office said that he is the one that blocked Cassie Hutchinson's testimony and subpoena grant by the GOP to find out the more truth. He's the one that blocked it. to where they could not actually see the lies that she may have been committing. Now, his office came out and said, oh, no, that is not what happened. That is completely false. But there's an untold source from Breitbart. Now, Breitbart's not some little pansy news site. It is a reliable news source to say this is what's actually happening. It says, the report goes on and says the Oversight Subcommittee apparently wanted to subpoena Hutchinson about her testimony. But according to the Tuesday report at Breitbart, House Speaker Mike Johnson blocked it from moving forward. So basically what he was saying is, I'm not going to try to help Trump here. I'm actually going to make him look worse by this report. It says Breitbart noted that the Oversight Committee recent final report of January 6 mentioned Hutchinson as named 268 times, but did not reference her for bringing him to questioning, showing that Johnson had blocked it. The report confirms what my own congressional source had said this anonymous source. It says Johnson blocked the subpoena of Cassidy Hutchinson, who appeared to have had committed perjury and perhaps under the direction of Liz Cheney. But Mike Johnson would not allow them to bring her in front of the GOP to be honest and to get her in her lies. So is Mike Johnson actually on our side? So while we're distracted with everything going on and you see him walking with Trump and Trump's trying to utilize him and he's trying to be this conservative firebrand, and actually what he is a deep state rhino, it seems. Like passing this bill that just passed that he tried to pass with pork until Trump and Elon kind of got a hold of it. He was trying to pass it with all this pork projects in it. I told you, the guy's probably a great guy, but what it shows is he has weak leadership skills, and what it is he is bending to pressure. And someone got to him, if it was the J6 committee or the Democrats or the establishment who did like Trump, to say, look, you hold her up and make her not get subpoenaed and get in trouble with being perjured. Meaning she was lying. Everybody knew it, but they could not bring her before the GOP to stand for it because Mike Johnson blocked it. Huge story. Now, there was a few days ago, Trump came out and said, I'm second thinking the Mike Johnson speakership because of some of the stuff that's come out. I think Mike Johnson, as Chad Pergram said, he's on his last limb as speaker, especially if Trump will pull away from him. Trump has a chance right now. He's got the power. He's got the populace. He needs to go in there and say, this is who I want as speaker, and it will change. Now, I'm not the biggest Jim Jordan fan. I told you, Jim Jordan, Chip Roy, those guys, I think, want to be as conservative or as populist or as America First as what Thomas Massey is, but I think that they're not going to be. But I do believe you'd see Trump go towards a Jim Jordan more than he would go towards a Thomas Massey, who I like Thomas Massey for. Pay attention to this. This is getting heated up for speakers. And to be honest with you, if Mike Johnson stays in as speaker, it shows how big the establishment is, because Trump has already shown that he can't trust him. And if he keeps this power, like Thune keeps the power in the Senate, you're seeing this establishment is way bigger than probably even the populace of America and even Trump and some of his appointments could even face, unless there's something major that takes place. Mike Johnson needs to be out as speaker, especially after blocking a testimony that showed Trump was innocent. Now let's move on to a report with RFK. RFK said he will ban pharmaceutical ads from television. Now, there's only one other country that actually allows television ads to be pharmaceuticals. It's New Zealand. It doesn't make sense, and theirs is not even as liberal as ours, to where we can allow them to do all these commercials all the time. Even on streaming ads now, commercials tend to be towards pharmacists, tends to be towards pharmacology and all this medicines and all this prescriptions. Well, what people don't realize is the legacy media news and all these channels that they represent, even up to the Disneys, the ABCs, the ESPNs, which is that group, and then of course the Fox News, the Fox Corp, the NBC group, the MSNBC, all that. The biggest funder, the biggest ad revenue driver is pharmaceuticals and their companies, Pfizer and so forth. If you took all those away, they would be absolutely broke. You see CNN and MSNBC and some of these are restructuring contracts because they're not getting the viewership. If they lose the ad revenue from these pharmaceutical companies, that's why the managerial class of the establishment is pushing against RFK, because if he takes that away, which it should be, to me it's not their job to come out and market to us prescription drugs. I think that is unbelievable. No other country does it other than New Zealand. No other country. Even the European countries that are more liberal than us and more of a I guess, indoctrinated state, they don't even do it. So why is it right for us to see every other commercial some new medicine that you need to be on to help you lose weight, to help you get over your psoriasis, or help you get over your diabetic problems, or Alzheimer's, or cancer drugs, whatever it may be? We should not be ran by medicine companies keeping us locked in step with this junk in our bodies. So I hope this goes through, but this is going to be one of the biggest fights of all time. Trump has made knowledge of it too, saying that they shouldn't be able to advertise on television. But guess what? We stopped smoking ads on television. We stopped all kinds of ads on television. Why can't we stop this too? It's just a wrong approach to allow these to advertise, especially when no other country, especially no other first world country does this. But there's only one other country in the whole world that allows it, that didn't ban it, and it's New Zealand. And theirs is not even as liberal as ours. So this is a great announcement, but this is a fight. Because the biggest legacy media players, without pharmaceutical companies being able to fund them, they will go broke and they will have to renegotiate all their contracts. That includes some of the conservative outlets like Fox News. Just watch. You don't believe me? Watch who is sponsoring the ads and how many advertisings for these big companies go across your screen in an hour's time. It will blow your mind. Now, you do the same thing with YouTubers and do the same thing on streaming sites such as a more conservative leaning podcast. You're not going to see those kind of things because we have morals and principles that represent away from things like that. If anything, I want you to get on supplements and get on herbal remedies and organic foods and stay away from that. So there's a tide changing, and that's a good thing. I hope RFK stays at this. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, but I hope he actually takes over and conquers this goal, because this could be a huge win for not only streaming and influencing, but also on the fact of getting this mess off our TV, because it puts us in a state where we believe we got to be in medicine and on medicine at all times. If all you see is medicine and all that, then it just gets in your brain. And you just think, oh, well, I heard this one thing about I need this medicine because they told me this could heal me or make me lose weight or do all this stuff for me. And the truth is, if you listen to the fine writing at the end, it gives you all these other problems too, because then you need more medicine to fill that problem. It's time to get away from that, and I think this is a great move. Let's ban them off TV. If we're going to ban cigarettes and we're going to ban tobacco products, let's ban pharmaceuticals. Now, last story, and then we'll wrap it up with a little bit more Christmas news. Ukraine U.S. politicians' kickback claims spark outrage online. They're unverified and just alleged, but this, again, is coming from anonymous sources that are close to what is going on. They said they did not want to disclose who they were, because if they disclosed, then what could actually happen would be major dust up with them. I want you to listen to this. It says, recent social media activity suggests that there has been huge financial transactions between Ukrainian officials and U.S. politicians, described as some users as kickback. Now, they'll describe them as something else, but that's exactly what they're describing it as. It says, these claims have sparked a significant reaction online, with many users demanding investigations and expressing outrage. This is what I want. This is where I'd love to see someone like RFK or someone like Doge, someone that does not have a dog in the fight, to say, okay, you know what? Let's investigate it. Not Congress. I don't want to see another subcommittee. I don't want to see another hearing. I don't want to see one more subpoena from a Comer or a Jim Jordan or any other conservative that's going to somehow hold them accountable. Look, like Rand Paul. Rand Paul has been calling for Fauci, because of all the investigations, all the truth that's come out, that Fauci should be arrested. And guess what? Nothing's going to happen. You know why? Because it means nothing when they do these hearings and these court proceedings in the Senate and Congress. Should mean something, but it doesn't. So I don't want to hear this in this, because it's not going to make any difference. What we need to do is see truth. And what I'd love to see is someone like the Doge or someone like in the administration that's over this. I mean, look, it could be some kind of inspector general that Trump appoints. But listen to the kickbacks that are alleged, saying if this is true, if this is true, this should be treasonous against the American people. Listen to this. Ukrainian officials, and this was shared by Josh Dunlap on Twitter, but it says Ukrainian officials released a kickback numbers of what they gave U.S. politicians. Now, these numbers are crazy, but remember, it's alleged, unverified, but these have been brought out by Ukrainian officials who had sources close to the situation that says all the funds coming in, this is some of the kickbacks. And if you look at the names and look at the names that are on lists, it seems like they're the ones that's more stalwart on making sure there's money going to Ukraine. Listen to this. Joe Biden, $92 million. Mitch McConnell, $89 million. Pelosi, $86. Schumer, $66. Lindsey Graham, boy, he's a war hawk, $82 million. Romney, $71. Cornyn, $41. Schiff, $62. Now, this is in millions now. Dan Crenshaw, I don't like Dan Crenshaw. Crenshaw's $20 million. Cheney, Elizabeth Cheney, Liz Cheney, $77 million. Kevin McCarthy, oh, he's a conservative, huh? $42 million. Jamie Raskin, $38 million. Mike Pence, I wonder all that debt he had, from running a campaign that didn't work, and all of a sudden his conservatism fell more into rhino establishment. I wonder why, because there seems to be some money coming back to him, and all his debts are paid. How did that happen? $61 million. Greg Pitts, $17 million. Rick Scott, $63 million. Hakeem Jeffries, $74 million. Ilhan Omar, $33 million. Elizabeth Warren, she don't want you to have crypto or any stock benefits, but she takes $42 million at the bottom of the list. Is all that true? It's alleged. Let's say this. If that was half, say they were 50% correct, it's still unbelievable. If this is taking place, if these rumors are true, if this information is true right here, every one of these should be held in contempt of the United States treasonous laws. That is that is unbelievable and unprecedented that if they see these kind of kickbacks. Now the sad thing is we just kind of make light of it because guess what? Lobbyists and all these bills that they vote on, they all get kickbacks. It's just now we're seeing it because it's such a big deal at Ukraine because they keep giving more and more and more and more and no one actually stops it. But if this kind of money is real, that they're getting this kind of kickback, just say for instance, like I said, if you add that up, that's like $200 or $300 million. I mean, actually more than that. It's closer to $500 million. But say it's real. And say, no, it's not that much. It's half of that, $250 million. Say it's half of that, $125 million. Say it's half of that, $66 million. Say it's half of that, $33 million. Say it's half of that, $17 million, $16 million. Say it's half of that, $8 million. So if I break that down 10 to 15 times, it's still way too much to have kickbacks. Taxpayers shouldn't be funding anything overseas. But if they are, the last thing we need to do is have our politicians getting our money back in forms of payments or renderings or policy issues or whatever it may be. It's a wrong way. This is what should be investigated right here. You wonder why we're in piles of debt? You wonder why we're in the situation we're in. It's because we have leaders who could care less about the American people and the American tax dollar, but they'll care everything about their bottom line. Some of these ones, like these, I say rhinos, Republicans, some of these Republicans are some of the biggest ones. They're all about going to war, all about starting a new conflict because they know there's something in it for them. Honestly, who truly believes they would send their children and grandchildren over there to fight these battles? No, they wouldn't unless there was something on the table. It's not about morals and principles, it's about the dollar. And it breaks my heart to see names, Republicans, Democrats alike, but people who have children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and they are causing the demise of these generations and the demise of other people's generations. Think about this. Don't talk about the American people. Think about you. There has been over 1 million deaths, they said, dealing with Russia, Ukraine. On both sides, estimated over 1 million. That is aged men who could raise families, who want peace, who wants to see their children grow up, that are now not going to be able to be there. All because they wanted a dollar. A dishonest dollar. This should be investigated. And they should be held to the most hardest laws possible because that is a wrong way of doing business. That is not right. It's amazing that they're dogging Trump out, and here is Trump is not even taking an annual salary. These people try to give themselves a 40% raise and then also get the kickbacks. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, I got to calm down. That was just a little too much right now. Now, let's talk about how we're seeing a tide turn and how this Christmas season It almost represents something better, a pride of America. And it's coming from the grassroots, people like us that are wanting a change and wanting something better than what DC has given us. Did you see the biggest three automakers, GM, Ford, and Toyota, are giving millions of dollars for the Trump inauguration? They want to see this man thrive. John Fetterman came out and said, if you're not supporting Trump, as in, look, he doesn't agree with his policies, but listen to what he said. If you're not supporting the person who won the presidency, it's un-American. Now, does that mean he agrees with everything Trump's doing? No. But he's saying Trump won, and we should say we want to work with him. We should want to see him do well because that means America does well. That is coming from someone who had brain surgery, who could not speak honestly and eloquently for years. And now all of a sudden he's making more flipping sense than anyone else in the Senate and Republicans right now. It's unbelievable. So that's what we need. We need people coming together and saying, you know what? We may not get along with everything, but we sure want America to thrive and want our kids and grandkids to be okay. And that means bringing people home. Let's make America strong and make America healthy. Get away from these ads and all this stuff that wants to put people in crutches and problems. Get back on a balanced budget. All that's good. I want to bring up one more story that's amazing to me. And this comes from Jack Posobiec. He shared this. And it said, along with the good news with the Trump inauguration and people that are wanting to support, all these people that typically wouldn't, these businesses that wouldn't, they're all coming back and saying, now it's politically correct to say Merry Christmas. We want to support him. You hear Jeff Bezos and you hear Mark Zuckerberg and you hear the three biggest automakers and now you hear the union workers who would never have supported a Republican all coming and saying they want to see Trump do well. Because you know what they're saying, bygones be bygones. We want to see America thrive. I mean, Cenk Uygur over the Young Turks, the most socialist, atheist, liberal, leftist there is, says, I don't even hate him anymore. I want to see him do good. I don't like him. I don't want to like him. But ultimately, I want him to do well because I think in all, you're starting to see a populism, a grassroots movement against DC. That's an amazing thought. Now, the last thing, this is from Jack Posobiec. I want to share this, and this is how we're going to end today. Jack Posobiec said, for the first time, all 27 billboards of Times Square went dark in NYC, New York City, and then lit up with the story of the birth of Christ, the first Christmas. And if you hadn't seen that video, go watch it. It's amazing. Everything shuts down, and all of a sudden you see all this about the manger scene and about the birth of Jesus in New York City. Now, that wasn't free to do. I imagine they paid a good penny to do it. And then all of a sudden, the billboard companies let it happen. We're seeing a movement of people wanting more, wanting a spiritual revival, wanting something different, and wanting happiness and joy and peace again, like we've never had, especially in the last 20 to 30 years. It's time to make that happen. We have 6 days left in this year. And I hope that your 2024 was good, and I hope your 2024 ended better because we have a better result than what we could have had for the last 4 years. But we have got to want to change. We have got to want to see and represent what that was. Does that mean New York's having a great revival? I don't know. I would love to see that. Does that mean everybody's going to sing Kumbaya and sing Joy to the World? Probably not. Does that mean that RFK is going to get his way with getting Pharma off of TV? It's going to be an uphill battle. Does that mean Trump will pass all the things like he did a Merry Christmas message about how Jesus was Lord? You think that's going to be put in our Constitution again, in our written bylaws to allow all schools to say that again? I wish. Guess what, though? All this stuff is the step in the right direction. You want to know what's so urgent? Is that if we want something different, we have to do something we've never done. And that's elect people and put people in place like the Kash Patels, the RFKs, the Tulsis, the Mike Huckabees. We have to put people in charge that's never been in charge before. We have to see Trump doing something different and not taking a payroll and not doing anything with it like all these other people are doing and taking taxpayer-funded money. We should want this to be different because what we've seen for the last 20 or 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, is that our government keeps getting bigger, kicking the can down the road. Our debt is growing exponentially, and we're not better off than we once were. Pharma's not helped us any because guess what? our mortality and the fact of morbidity, comorbidities, and the fact of life expectancy, none of that's gotten better. So why are we allowing them to advertise on TV and to allow really them as ads revenue go into these legacy media companies? And legacy media companies, of course, are not going to stand against them because they're getting fed by them. It's kind of like the lobbyists in Washington. As New York's whole city went dark at Times Square and then lit up saying Jesus. You know, again, if it was not true, it was great graphics. But go look at that video that Jack Posobiec shared. It'd give you chills. America can be great again, but it's going to take people willing to change and willing to fight for what they believe in. Stand up, have strong leadership. Get rid of the people like Mike Johnson who are lying to us about what they're actually doing. Remember, actions speak louder than words. We need real people doing real things to have real change instead of just talking about it. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. But more than all this stuff that we talked about, spend time with your family. Enjoy your children. Enjoy your grandchildren. We are so blessed to have our families. We're so blessed to live in America, even though there's a lot of problems it has. We are so blessed to be here. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas for the day. And we thank you for being a part of our channel. And we hope that we are giving you information that you can use each and every day. We hope that you're enjoying the new channel, Life with Colby. It's Life with Colby Mack. There's a 4th video I just put out yesterday. Please go check it out. It's a great thing about raising food and being sustainable. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We humbly thank you for watching us day in and day out. God bless.